Hey, you Strat fans, it's me, Colonel Strat, the Strategy Extraordinaire here, and today I'm going to be showing you all the things about the Deamons of Chaos. So, these boys with their lovely build a general here, Daniel, I'll just refer to him as Daniel, as that's the running gag joke around with CA for this guy. They're very unique as a faction, and all the Chaos Gods leading up to this one, it's, you know, of all the Chaos factions races leading up to it, it's the most versatile, but also it can have the most challenging start because you don't really start with anything that impressive, and your power creep is very, very slow. But once you get up to that top level and you dedicate to a god or undivided, you're going to see those bonuses rack up, and you're just going to be almost unstoppable. But the thing is getting there, because Daniel himself is going to be who you rely on the most, and he's not that powerful of a character. Unfortunately, even though he has an imposing physique and everything, and he has really unique mechanics which make him fun, he doesn't really hold his own with other demon princes or other forces around where he starts. Now, where he starts, all the way up here, surrounded by demon factions. So he's, he starts in kind of a hard spot as well. But you get to name him here. We'll just pick a, sure, that one there. That's pretty chaosy right there. Alrighty, so with that, let's get into some campaign stuff so I can show you guys how this guy plays.
All this world will blacken and die.
Alright, kind of morbid, but alright. Alright, so for the Legion of Chaos, the Deamons of Chaos, they play a little bit different to other Chaos factions. Now, as you can already see, there's a bunch of things up top that's already completely foreign to you compared to the other ones. So this is demonic glory. So each time you do something like, kill a faction, kill an army, take a settlement, all these type of offensive actions, and I think also defense. So any type of active action is going to give you some type of glory. So it oh, hey buddy. Sorry, my puppy's up here with us. So any type of glory you'll be able to dedicate to it. So I'll show you what I mean by that real quick. You take our demon prince here. You attack the Fortress of Decay, and then you get a chance to dedicate this province to a certain god, getting a little bit of glory as well as undivided glory. I usually go for Nurgle first because this is a Nurgle type realm, and then I get a little bit of Nurgle glory. Now, what does this do? Now we have demonic glory right here. Now you get to see what it does. So you can unlock body parts to put on your lord with this guy. So he's the ultimate build a demon lord. It's one of the things that I love about it. It was really, really good, and that's why I played this faction the first. This was the first one I played for Warhammer 3 actually. And you notice that each one you get little bonuses as well. Like you get the ability to have all these demonic units. That's what I say by like the power creep can be a little slow, because if you're focusing on one god at a time, you can only unlock that god's units. Whereas, certain other areas have those gods' units unlocked immediately. And you start with just a little bit of undivided units, which it does help. I think he gets access to the Warriors of Chaos roster that was in their update. So he does, as he's dedicating, he gets access to them as well, I think. Or maybe he starts with it. I don't think he does. I think he gets access to them as he goes forward. Anywho, you see all these different body parts, and they give certain abilities and some passives and buffs, and you just unlock them as you go through. So like we've gone through a little bit, we just have to do a little bit more Nurgle dedication to unlock Nurglings, and then we have to go up here. But you get all the way to the end, you can dedicate to a certain god, or you can go undivided, which if you dedicate it'll make relations with all other gods like negative a lot, and then it'll also lock you down there. You won't be able to gain any more glory for the other gods. And that also counts for undivided. You won't be able to get any of these bonuses here, but you will be able to have all the units, pretty much all the units unlocked, and some heavy bonuses to undivided. So that's pretty much what this is, and then it corresponds with this. This is the Build a Demon. This is the Build a Demon's place. So you, as you see, you have all these different body parts. Once you unlock more, you'll be able to equip them here, and it gives various things like melee defense or ward save, leadership, special abilities. You know, all these types of stat boosts and buffs that can really help him. But his base stats just aren't good enough to make him like a really good player on the big stage, because even all the other demon princes and all the other chaos factions, he's just very squishy of a lord, because he doesn't start with that much health and his armor is very low. You don't get a lot of really heavily armored objects to put on him to make him more armored, so that's why he suffers. But it still is a cool mechanic, and it allows you to like divvy out your empire, because another cool thing about dedicating is you get a certain set of Nurgle buildings that will allow you to, you know, of course, recruit the Nurgle stuff. And then, so yeah, I think you do have access. Yeah, you have access to the War Shrine, Chaos Warriors of Nurgle. Yeah, you have access to all of them. But I don't think you get access to every single one. Yeah, you have access to Marauders, Warriors. I don't think you get chosen, but it does help having the access to those, but you can only access them from a province that's dedicated to that god. So again, like I said, you gotta really build wide with these guys so that you can get the most amount of unit selection. But once you do have that, then you're able to bring everything up to play. Pretty much everything. There's only a few select units that you can't recruit, but those are pretty much god-specific units. All their greater demons you can recruit, and you can get, I believe you can get demon princes of all of them as well. Wait, no, I don't think you can. Not with him. I think you can get all of their exalted versions of the regular generals, but you can't get the yeah. So you get the heralds, you know. So you just have a lot of options, but they unlock with you as you go forth, because you know you have to unlock that. Now diplomacy is not something that Cass is really good at. So again, that's not something he's good at. So it's not going to be something you want to look for. Now again, you can get more glory by investing in his skill tree here. His skills are very different as well compared to other lords, because he's just got a whole bunch of them. There's no way you'll ever really be able to, you know, get them all. But I always usually go into these ones to get more glory. That way you can farm it better. Now he doesn't get access to unholy manifestations because he's not a monogod, but that's pretty much what they do. And that's pretty much all that there is for the campaign. So let's get into some army composition. Here we are with the tier 1 guys. So to get started, like I said, I usually start with Nurgle, so I'm going to be recruiting the Nurgle units first. So we have some plague bearers here. Now usually we'll be able to get some marauders, and I'll usually choose between the marauders or the plague bearers. But to just keep the theme of the army, I usually go with plague bearers, because all demon army does, it sounds really awesome, but you know, having some mortal units does help. But I don't think it allowed me to use them in the skirmish thing, so that's kind of upsetting. But you know, either these ones or marauders would do in the early game, because they have about the same stats. The plague bearers have a whole lot more health though, so that's a plus. So they do last a little bit longer. It's just that demonic instability can be a problem if they get outflanked. So you gotta make sure that you keep them that you keep their flanks secure and their backs secure. And they should keep up. So we have them for the front line with a couple Nurglings in the back to help spruce it up and add a little bit more damage to it. And then we have our Demon Prince flying up here. And then I do include a Blood Reaper to get started because they're really, really good hero units. All Cornate units are really good for like a hero to like kill other enemy heroes and other enemy lords and all that. And then I do have a Iridescent Horror for the Mage. He's always really, really good. Any Tzeentchian units are really good for magic. In the back we have some Blue Horrors for our missile units. They're a decent beginning unit. With 160 entities, their small ammunition ends up being a whole lot of damage, so they can do a whole lot. I usually bring a good amount of them. And in the back, bringing up the rear, is Plague Toads, one of the best units for Nurgle in the beginning. And I always will take these guys because they're that good. They're really good for supporting the line and for cavalry. Because even in a faction that has access to Slaanesh units, you don't really get much access to them in the early game, because even the goods, like the bottom tier Slaanesh units, aren't as they're kind of neck and neck with these guys. These guys are pretty good as for their role. Now they're not really that good for cavalry, but with a 65 speed for Nurgle, that's really, really good. And I usually do them because they have way more damage than the early game Slaanesh cavalry, so they end up hitting a lot harder. Alrighty, so let's go up against this battle against the Beastmen. Alrighty.
Interesting.
Here they come. Let's speed it up a little bit, see if they come out into the open. Yep, they're coming. I thought I saw them coming. I think they're just sending their dogs out. We'll move our Blue Horrors to the sides to fire on them when they come. I mean, if they come around here, I'm just going to send my toads in to take them out. Oh, well, there they come. There come the Ungors. Yeah, let's take these guys out then with the toads. Yeah, let's just take them out with the toads. That way we don't have to worry about them. Send this guy after him. Let's do blue fire Tzeentch on these guys. Let's see if we can target these guys. No, get out of there. Get out of there. Oh my god, they're still going after him. Get out. Just fire on these guys then. We'll send our Demon Prince out there to kill them. And then we'll get our Plague Toads around the sides. Deal with them. There we go. Come on, deal with them. See, having all of that helps a lot. And we'll get the Plague Toads down here. Yeah, there we go. Like I said, against this tier 1 army, we just wiped the floor with them. Because we were able to do so much punch, and the Plague Bearers did get a decent buff recently for their health and all that, and they're able to take a lot of damage, but their lack of armor makes them vulnerable. So that's why I don't really like using them that much. But yeah, that's pretty much a tier 1. Kind of a lot of shit units to try to make them good, because the early demonic units are not as powerful as the later ones. The later ones are the heavy hitters. They're the ones that are really good. And you'll notice as we level up our Demon Prince, he's going to change his faction every so often. He might start looking a little bit more red, more green, more blue, more pink, and a little bit in between, because you're adding more stuff to him. So now that we did that, let's move on to a tier 2. Alright, and here we are with a tier 2. So for the tier 2, you can notice a little bit of differences. I've ditched the Plague Bearers in favor of Bloodletters. Bloodletters are a lot better. They're a really good melee front line unit. They do a lot of heavy damage, so I usually go with these as soon as possible. By this time, I usually dedicate a few areas to Khorne and to some other places, to other gods, so you're able to draw from better areas in better pools. So I have about 6 of these Bloodletters, and then to bolster it, I've chosen some Beasts of Nurgle. These guys are really, really heavy hitters, and they have a lot of health, a lot of resistance. So they're really going to help support the front line. So just a couple of them in the front are Blood Reapers up there as well on a Juggernaut mount, which increases his offensive capabilities even more. In the back, we have some Pink Horrors of Tzeentch. These guys fire better. They're more dedicated missile unit, so they're going to do a lot better than the Blue Horrors. Even though they have less entities, they're going to do a whole lot more. Flying up there is the Iridescent Horror on a Disc of Tzeentch now. He's upgraded a lot, and he's got himself some mobility. And then our Demon Prince has dedicated part of himself to Nurgle, so he's got a lot more vitality as well as Nurgle spells to boot. Again, don't worry, this will change. I'm just choosing the different choices that you can make for Demon Princes as we go up the tiers. At least the best ones that I like. So tier 2, I like using the Nurgle one because I've dedicated a lot to Nurgle. Even though I'm not using many Nurgle units in this army, the buffs that you get for him makes him a lot more of a powerhouse, and you can actually have him sent in to deal with enemy forces. And then over here on the right are our Seekers of Slaanesh. Our first dedicated cavalry unit that isn't Plague Toads will be Seekers of Slaanesh. They're really, really good. Even though they're listed as a tier 3, you can get them very early on in the Slaanesh tree, so I brought them. You'd either get these guys or you get the Marauder version of these guys, and they're pretty good. So let's go up against this Empire force now. Put the Blood Reaper into there, and then I think both of the Beasts of Nurgle are in combat. We're going to send the Seekers back here so that they can do some extra damage. In fact, I'm going to have one of the Seekers go right towards them. 2 of them actually. We're going to deal with the okay, let's deal with these guys now, Seekers. Alright, let's cast that. Do a little bit of damage to them. There we go. Alright. Down here. Chase down these guys. Yeah, we're starting to chase them down now. And you really see how powerful it can be when you have multiple powerful units from different rosters working on the same roster. Even though we took a lot of casualties, these Bloodletters did, they still didn't take as much as the as the Plague Bearers did. And then we're able to complement their damage with damage from Tzeentchian units and Nurgle units, Vitalities, drawing the enemy units towards them. So it goes a lot towards making this really good. And you're just able to maximize the effectiveness of using all Chaos units together. That's why this faction can be really, really fun in the late game, because you can use tactics that other factions would have to use. Would have to find things to fill their gaps. You use it as all their strengths. You can pick all their strengths instead of any of the gaps. And you can use the other gods' units to fill those gaps. See what I mean, guys? The possibilities are endless. Alrighty, so that was a tier 2. Let's go on now to a tier 3. Alright, and here we are with a tier 3. So for the tier 3, we've updated and upgraded a lot of units. So the front line, it's got to be only one unit. You all know who it is. It's the Exalted Bloodletters of Khorne, baby. So these guys, these are monsters. They are machines. They have this special ability called Hellblade, which gives them 20%, whopping 20% more damage every time they get up a certain amount of kills. They'll get a buff to their damage. If they get 80 kills, 20% buff right there. So I usually upgrade these guys, including their Hellforged Host, which is the Regiment of Renown variant. Looks really, really cool. And then on the flanks, the only Nurgle unit I brought was Great Unclean Ones. These guys are really, really powerful. They have a couple bound spells as well that make them even more of a powerhouse. And then they cover both of the flanks. We do have a Iridescent Horror on a Chariot of Tzeentch in the back, well in the middle line. And then our Demon Prince, I usually go for the Cornate one or more Cornate stuff, because now he's armored, he's got a lot of damage, he's got Hellblade, he's got Gore Feast, he's got a lot of really good abilities that keep him alive in melee combat. So he's a really big beast now. And then the Blood Reaper is on a Blood Shrine, which increases his damage even more and ups his armor, so he's even better in combat now. And then in the back we have Exalted Pink Horrors of Tzeentch, including the Regiment of Renown variant, which are the Blazing Squeakers, or Squealers. They're just very, very good. They have this special ability called Arcane Mirth, which gives them more power recharge to the Winds of Magic, which helps our Winds of Magic, and our Iridescent Horror to casting spells. They're just really good as well. They have a lot of ammunition, flaming and magical attacks, really good range. They're really good. And in the back we have Heartseekers of Slaanesh. I usually go with these guys over the other stuff, but really you can choose a lot in this faction. This race has a lot of versatility, but I usually go for these guys because they're probably the best choice out of all the cavalry options. So for a conventional army, this is the best that you'll be able to get with the Deamons of Chaos. But you could fill and mix and match, add some more monsters. It's always that's what the beautiful thing about this faction is, that you can just pick and choose which ones you want. So let's get into this battle against Bretonnia.
Within my power. Demon Prince! Sanat Obakan!
Torture's sweet kiss. Heartseekers of Slanesh.
Alrighty. Let's do some Tzeentch's Firestorm to start. Let's get the Demon Prince down here. Let's get these Heartseekers on the sides. Oh boy. They sniped our iridescent horror. They sniped him good. And they're sniping our other guys. Okay, let's get those Heartseekers over there. That's the thing. Beating Bretonia's melee units is going to be really easy, but it's beating the cavalry that's the hard part. Alright. There we go. We lost a few units just to... I call it negligence just because I forgot about them.
Crush them!
Alright, let's go in. There we go. Let's send him in. Deal with these guys. There we go. So we still won pretty easily. We did lose a few units, and that's the thing with demonic units. They get so low, they'll just start disintegrating, just vaporizing. You know, you got to take the good with the bad, and they did do really good as well. So that's pretty much wraps up my army compositions. So let's go. Let's wrap this thing up now, shall we, guys? Alright, Strat fans, so that does it with my Deamons of Chaos guide for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I showed you how unique Daniel can be, but on the flip side, how vulnerable he can be. So you got to be careful, pick your battles right, pick the right units, and they can all synergize together and be just really good. So I hope that you guys found this enjoyable and as well as informative, and that you're ready to go out and conquer in the name of Chaos and make your chosen Daniel, whatever you want to call him, a new Chaos God. So that will do it for me today. This is Colonel Strat. Remember, if you like what I do here, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I reply to all comments. I really love the engagement. So and I love making content for you guys, so I want to make more stuff that you guys like. I am back now for a foreseeable future, and hopefully it'll be a long time before I've taken a hiatus like that again. I do thank you guys so much for watching. Keep it strategic, Strat fans. Colonel out.